Four travel creators, four completely different ways of seeing the world, and between them, one tip that generally stopped me in my tracks and made me rethink how I travel. One hack that could have saved you loads of time planning your next trip, and one piece of advice so simple I couldn't believe I'd never heard of it before. These are some of the reels that I have sitting in my saved folder. Months ago, I did some Instagram lives and I thought this would be a really good group of podcast episodes because I think these content creators are fabulous and I think this would be a really good time to share them with you. On today's episode, I chat to Michelle from Intentional Travelers about apps that really work while planning and also actually while you're traveling. So let's get started.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
Welcome aboard Truly Expat Travel, where we're ditching the guidebooks, fastening our seatbelts, and diving into real stories from travellers who have traded the ordinary for the extraordinary, proving the world really is too big to be left unexplored. Cabin crew, be seated and ready for takeoff.
Okay, so I'm currently here in Penang, and I did get my dates. Okay, so she's unable to join. Why is she unable to join? If anyone knows what they're doing, please let me know, because I don't know why she's not joining, and I don't know why she can't join. Okay, let's try again. In the meantime, it's nice and it's a nice weather here in Penang. I've been here for 2 days and it's been very cloudy and very wet. But hello, Sue. How are you? I'm a little bit stuck. I'm still waiting for Michelle to join. I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. This is my very first live. And so, yeah, I'm a little nervous because I actually have no idea what I'm doing. Michelle, if you're there, can you please message me? I can't seem to figure it out. I love Penang too. I haven't been here for like 10 years, so I'm going on a food tour tomorrow, which I'm quite excited about. Are you there? Are you there? I'm so sorry. It's my very first live, so I didn't know what I was doing. I was just pressing the buttons. And I got the times wrong as well. So poor Michelle's jumped on here an hour earlier than she expected. So I have to thank her.
Here we are.
Yeah. Do you want to let people know a little bit about yourself? Because the whole idea of this is getting experts to talk about tips and hacks on traveling and planning. So just let people know exactly who you are and what you do.
Yeah. Well, my name is Michelle. Nice to meet everyone. And I teach independent travelers how to make travel easier, more affordable, and meaningful through trip planning tools, smartphone use, even if you didn't grow up with today's technology. So my husband and I have been digital nomads since 2014. Kind of working online and living different places around the world. So just have accumulated a lot of experiences and try to put that into helpful tools that people can use. So our site is Intentional Travelers, and we also run the DIY Trip Summit once a year.
And we're going to get into that in a minute. I'll ask you the questions and then I want you to let everyone know about it because it's quite an exciting thing that's happening not too long.
Yeah.
So what is one of the apps that you consider is one of the ones you cannot travel without?
I think that would be Google Maps. It's easily the thing that I use the most, like constantly. And I don't just mean like for trip planning or like figuring out, or not just for like figuring out where you're going, but I use it for trip planning because I know a lot of people kind of are familiar with Google Maps and maybe they use it for directions or something like it, whether it's Apple Maps or something like that. But I also use it to like plan our days ahead of time by finding places to visit, restaurants, attractions, local gems, and then vetting those places to make sure that they are worth our time and money. And then I save those places to my map. I know a lot of travelers use TripAdvisor maybe to check reviews, but I found that the reviews on Google Maps are more likely to include like locals. So if it's a place that locals are going, you're going to get that information through Google Maps more likely than something like TripAdvisor, which is more tourists reviewing things. I'll use different views in maps to learn about a new place before we visit. So, like street view, if I'm comparing hotels and I want to see what the neighborhoods are like, or check if, we're going to go walk across town, but we've never been there before. Does it even have sidewalks? Are they decent? So, those are things that you can actually check on Google Maps.
Mhm. And
Yeah,
you
there's
can
so many features.
because you can save them too, right? You can save them for later, which my husband does all the time, which I should do, but I don't.
Yeah, if you saw my map, it has like all the different pins and I have a whole system for it. So that's actually kind of what inspired my first course because I've been doing that for years and some other travelers were like, "Wait, what are you doing on your map?" So yeah, and the other one the tip I want to throw out there for that is offline maps. So you
Yeah.
can save the data offline, download before you go so that just in case, whether you're going somewhere remote or not, you can always lose cell service. And so if you have that offline, you at least know where you are. So it can be a
Mm.
huge lifesaver.
It is a lifesaver, especially when your 5G just disappears from nowhere and then you're lost. I've done that a few times. So that's one thing I always use is download the apps, download the maps before I go. I learned the hard way on that one.
Yeah.
Are you plan everything out kind of person, or are you figure it more? I think I already know the answer, but or are you more of a figure it out as you go type of person? And how do you balance the stress of planning?
Yeah. I mean, I am definitely a planner by nature. I love the planning and research part of a trip, but I actually leave a lot of room for spontaneity. And we, as nomads, like we tend to stay in a place for a month or more. So having an hour by hour itinerary is like impossible. But we usually do know pretty well ahead, like our big expense items, flights and accommodations, because the further we can do that in advance, the better deals we can get.
Yeah.
But then I find it's really helpful. I mean, we just kind of leave our days open and see how we feel. So having the map actually helps with that flexibility because I have saved these places and say, like we work in the morning and then we're like, okay, where are we going to go for lunch? So I can look at what's around us. And then once we get there at that restaurant, maybe we have some more time to walk around. I can see, okay, what are the other places that I wanted to go that are on the map and are nearby? So that's kind of how we balance it.
It's a good idea. I guess because you're traveling full time, most of us don't. So we have to plan. But for you, I guess you're pretty much traveling. You're on the road all the time, right? So you need to have some downtime. You can't be doing the whole thing like I do stupid stuff like plan, from the morning till the evening.
Yeah, I think if your time is super limited, you want to be more planned just so you can fit things in. But I would say, even, if you have like a week vacation or 10 days, I also encourage people to slow down because you will enjoy it more. And so you don't want to be exhausted from your trip either.
Yeah, that's true. You go home for the
Yeah.
holiday.
Yeah.
And so if you had, because there's so many apps out there and it can be quite overwhelming on, which app to choose. If you could pick 2 to 3 apps, what would the must-haves be?
Yeah. It's a great question because I agree. People sometimes either they hear about all these apps and deal sites and they feel like they have to have them all so they don't miss out, or they get overwhelmed and kind of like try to ignore anything new altogether. So for international travel, especially, I believe
Okay. So my first live didn't go as planned. I firstly got my times incorrect, and at least I got the right day because of the time difference. And then I couldn't figure out how to get her to add her to it, which I did, which she finally was able to come on. And thank you so much, Michelle, because there was a lot of useful information there, including the DIY summit. Now I'm adding the link. I've added, and if you want more information about it, just DM me and I can send you that. But can I tell you, I'm so sorry, technology is not my friend this morning, and it just, I don't know, disappeared. I don't know if that's because I'm in Penang and the internet isn't great, or whether or not something happened with the live. I don't know. It just died.
Thank you for joining me on the Truly Expat Travel podcast. If you liked this episode and you found it valuable, then why don't you go ahead and like and subscribe so that you don't miss an episode moving forward. I've got some amazing guests and some fantastic destinations coming up. But if this is the episode and this is the destination that you really want to go to, then I suggest you head over to trulyexpattravel.com, where you'll find travel guides and deep dive into this sort of destination. If that's not what you want and you can't find an episode that is a destination you want to travel to, then head over and follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, because I'm pretty sure you'll find something there. In the meantime, safe travels, and I'll see you next week.